Yep, they went well. What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Welcome back to another episode of the Daily Smoke for Wednesday Hump Day.
Yes, sir.
I'm Brother Los.
I'm Brother Ron.
Brother Black Hand on the cam as always. And again, much love for your support as always. Danny, what's up? I know you're in there.
Yes, sir.
See, they're not showing up.
Right, so it's supposed to be black.
It is black. See?
No, white or
It's supposed to be white. It's white. It's always right.
Right. You know how it goes. Now it's gonna show up.
I hope so, because I don't know what
That's the way it worked right there. We're just trying to take care of some of these technical difficulties we have right now, but we good. We back.
Successfully connected. Bam. So it is white.
Bam.
Yeah. So what's up? What's up? Wednesday.
Absolutely, man.
Man, I took a couple of days off because I just wasn't feeling well.
Feel that.
And yesterday was worse, than today. Earlier today, I started feeling much better.
Really?
So I'll probably go back to work tomorrow. But it was well worth it though. Mentally, I feel refreshed. But like I said,
you look refreshed.
No, I'm good. When I get to relax, I'm good. I'm just tired of doing this shit, man. I'm tired of working for other motherfuckers.
Understood.
It's what you gotta do. But hey, I'll sacrifice. I've sacrificed my life, and I had to sacrifice to get to where I'm at.
Absolutely.
I had to working 40 hours a week. Had to go to school. I wanted to do something different than what I was doing then.
Absolutely.
So I had to go to school, start doing that, work all day.
We too hard to succumb to this.
You know what I'm saying? Go, and then after that, you get home late as fuck, pretty much eat something, go take a shower, go to bed. Next morning, next thing again, and then go to the next one, Sometimes I try to space it out where it's like the Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'll do the 2-job thing. Give me Tuesdays and Thursdays to chill.
Man, I did that shit for 6 years straight.
And then Saturdays and Sundays. It's just
I literally lived that life for like that 7-day-a-week school, work, all of that, 24 hours, 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. 6 years straight.
Yeah, I did it. I don't know if I did 6 years of that. I know I did it for many parts of my life where I'd have a job and then I'd do it part-time.
Yeah.
And usually the part-time was after that job during the week and the weekends, If you wanted to make some decent money, because you can get 5 days a week. You could do the 7, but I wouldn't want to do 7. I always had to have at least one day where I either went to my job and came home and didn't have to do shit, or I was off from that second job on the weekends. So I always try to schedule some weekends off. I needed some days to be off.
I was in warehousing, man, and it didn't get unbearable for me until they started making 7-day a work week mandatory. Because there's something, if you ever worked in warehousing, there's something called taking inventory that the companies will once a year, like you have to count everything.
Right.
So they shut the whole warehouse down. During that time, that's when you'll work a shift like 14, 15-hour days, for weeks on end. They started seeing the productivity, they started making it mandatory.
But you had to work 7 days
a week. And I couldn't sustain it because
so that was like
I go to school.
Overtime all the time?
Damn near, yeah. All the time. As a matter of fact, yes.
So it wasn't you had to work 7 days and get your 40 hours in.
And you get overtime, no problem.
So
but I was like, no, hell,
that's too much, man. 7 days.
I couldn't
especially
do it.
If you're doing something all day.
Exactly.
I mean, like on the weekend, if I'm like I said, if my weekends are not, I could do the weekend, but the weeks that you got to do the full 7, that's crazy. It's like I couldn't do that. I need a day off.
You did it for a while, like you relate to this, like the day or two that you had off from work. You spent all day studying. You spent all day working on whatever it was to school, because at that time, at least for me, the demands of school were like, this is taking 2 and 3 classes a semester. And with just that alone, by the time I would lose from having to earn a living, travel to the job, leave the job, and then go to school, I was waiting on Saturday and Sunday so I could just devote all my time to that.
Right. Right.
So yeah, man, like it was not a game. It was not a game.
Sorry for the poor quality, having a nagging issue.
Okay. It's probably this damn heat.
True.
It was at 4:30 this afternoon. It was 93 degrees. Felt like 107. And we're under a heat advisory right now. We were under a heat advisory, and it just ended because it was until 7 p.m. And then tomorrow is from 12 noon to 8 p.m. It's a heat advisory, so we're gonna be back into these hundreds and shit, man.
Hey, poor Jay, mama.
What's up, mama?
Well, that's how good it is. I mean, we were talking about being grateful the other day. It's 107 degrees.
Right.
But because we work from home now, most of us, at least I did it from home. You know what I'm
Right, you
saying?
don't have to be out there.
I ain't out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out there pushing nothing, exposed to the elements.
I know. Well, let's get to what we do, our sponsors.
Absolutely.
And we started off always with banging.
Banging.
2 radio.
Banging.
Banging.
Bang.
Bang. You got to chop and screw this shit. www.banging832.com. They show past episodes of the Daily Smoke at 7 o'clock on Sundays. That may change as we've been telling you, but not just yet. So just keep watching. If you do watch them there, thank you. Thank you, Banging, for putting them out there. They do a lot of other stuff. They have other podcasts that they talk about. It's all homegrown people, you know, artists, and even I think some people from New Orleans. They showcase them. It's just a regular radio station. You can tune them into your phone through their website, listen to what's going on. So make sure y'all check them out, www.banging832.com, Banging832 Radio. And then we got Tamia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy. To get with life, get a massage.
Touch my body.
Yeah, to get with life, get a massage. www.tamiaanderson.com. It's veteran-owned, black-owned. Our word mortician raves about her massages. You want to make sure that y'all, you know, go check it out. She does a lot of different things. She's also a personal trainer. So like I say, she can get you all tightened up and then stretch you out, you know. And the beauty of it all is she comes to you. So you provide the safe space, and she'll come and take care of you there so you don't feel uncomfortable going somewhere else. And then next we got the Buy Black Marketplace in Zimbabwe. The Buy Black Marketplace, book vendor market, book and art fair. The ultimate pop-up experience. It's free and open to the public every Saturday from 12, every first and third Saturday from 12 to 6, right? Yep, from 12 to 6. They got a lot of stuff going on. It's family friendly. It's right there at MLK, 5309 MLK Boulevard at the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So make sure y'all go check it out. You can sell your stuff if you want. Vendor registration is at www.thebuyblackmarketplace.com. You see it right there on the card. Make sure y'all check it out. If you have stuff, if you're an artist yourself, or you make jewelry or paintings or whatever you do, go down and get your stuff sold. Get known. Let people know what you do. Don't just keep it to yourself. You know, let us see what you got.
Absolutely.
And you may make some money. Who knows? All of a sudden, bam, people like your shit, and guess what? Boom, you're the next one. You're the next person up there doing. I think Madonna just got here. Yeah, so again, that's the Buy Black Marketplace. And then we got Puff Pass It, CBD, and more at 4130 and a half Cavalcade right here in Houston, Texas, 77026. Check them out at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Yelp. You can send them an email to puffpassit2020 at gmail.com, or you can call the owner, Tanya Ashley, 713-766-6631. You can go back and watch an episode we had where she was the guest. She talks about her struggle to get where she's at, you know, and she just came straight at you. She didn't sugarcoat it or anything. She just said exactly what was going on. So make sure y'all check her out there. Again, Puff Pass It, CBD, and more. And then, of course, last but never least, us. www.thedailysmoke.com. And that's THA dailysmoke.com. I tell everybody, you go there. If you got a QR code, scan it. It'll take you to our website. There, you will know who we are, what we do, what we're about, and who we deal with, which is everything about us. And you'll see that it's all right there in the open. We're not hiding anything from anybody. And if you, like we say, we're trying to get you to come down here and hang out. So make sure y'all check us out. And if you're so kind to, Father's Day's coming. They're not fathers, but Los Lalos are there. Hey, $ TD Smoke at the Cash App for donations and support so that we can continue bringing you this good content and the beauty of our show, So make sure y'all check us out. So that's what we got. You got anything else? Anybody else? That we can think of right now? We got everybody doing what we do.
Yeah, man.
So, but man, it's Wednesday. I'm glad. I got them 2 days off. Feel better. So I got 2 more days to go through. Hopefully I can get through them.
God bless you.
And
good week.
Yeah.
And then you hit Juneteenth.
And then, get that. And then next week.
Monday you off.
Start.
For real.
I worked on goddamn New Year's. You forgot that? I worked on New Year's Day. They don't take no damn. That's not the important ones, man. My next day off is What's the next one that's good? July 4th is shit. That's the next one they gonna pay for. They're not paying for no damn Juneteenth. They don't follow all that. That's banks and shit. You know. Now the lawyers that I do travel for, they'll be off. But that's when they, yeah, no, but that's a lot of times that's when they'll call us because they're off. So now they got time to call us and get some people to, you know, even though it's a day off. Sometimes it's cool. They don't, you know, they don't mess with you. You know, lately they've been doing a lot of traveling anyway. So that shit gets exhausting after a while. Like I said, I done did this shit since '96. That's like what, almost 20-something, 28 years, almost 27 years of doing this shit. I'm done. I did hotel. I worked hotel. I did with the travel and shit, and this travel industry is like, I'm done. Hospitality.
That's like, how it was with mental health.
You know, it's like, I'm done with it. You know, like, it's time for me to get some hospitality and shit. You know, so, but I do my job well only because I know how I want. When I call, this is how I want you to treat me. You know?
Right.
If I got questions, you answer them like you can, you know, but I'm also not trying to be too unreasonable for you. You know, some people don't understand what we do, so they'll ask for stuff that's like, come on, man, I can't do all that.
Right.
That's too much.
I know what
you know, that's a big waste of time for you to end up at the end not taking nothing. You know, exactly. So that's you know, can't waste my time. So, but yeah. So, how was your week so far?
Man, it's been good, man. Been having a whole lot of work, getting a whole lot of work done. You know, it's been a good week. You know, been productive. You know, getting off, coming home. You know, chilling in my own zone again.
Getting it ready.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like the show is still going good. We meeting new people. Man, my life is really. I'm really in a good place right now. Right. I mean that with all my heart.
Yeah. So am I.
I really am.
Other than not wanting to do this job, I'm in a good place.
That's unfortunate, man.
I'm always, you know, like when people ask me, "You're good," my reply is always, "I'm always good," because I really am. I some things, fuck with me, but in reality, when it comes down to it, and I'm doing my thing, none of that shit fucks with me because I'm sitting here chilling. I might got a good buzz going, playing some PlayStation, watching a movie that I want to watch. I don't have time to think about it. I'll deal with that later.
I'm gonna save that energy for when my mama go, or when my daddy go, or my uncle go, or my aunt go, or my, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's kind of bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But anything outside of the people that really matter most to you in life, man, it ain't no problem. It ain't no problem at all.
I mean, I'm at home. I'm right where I need to be. This is my safe zone. You know, the whoop den. This is where I do what I do. You know, and I this is what I like to do. Cook. You know. Right. Matter of fact, we were talking about maybe doing a fundraiser where we're gonna be cooking some barbecue for y'all. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'll think. I mean, sorry, Danny, we can't FedEx you a plate. We can't FedEx you a plate, Danny.
No. Actually, we can.
We could?
We can. 24 hours, and they'll deliver it. You freeze it, and by the time it get to him, it'll be just unthawed.
And he just got to
pack it with ice and stuff. Absolutely.
Okay, so Danny, we can hook you up, too.
Yeah.
So, you know,
we're going to spend the cost of shipping plus the plate, but we got you.
You know, so but what we're going to do, though, is if we do go with something like this, if you do like this idea, especially y'all here in Houston, we want you to come down here and pick your plate up because we're going to do a show as what we're cooking and you coming to get your stuff. So that'll be what's the show about. You know, and of course you're welcome to come in, have a drink, chill, you know, do whatever, you know, just come hang out with us, come have dinner with us, you know.
It's gonna be all right, man.
Show. So let us know what you think if y'all want to do something like that, and we'll go ahead and set that up. What's that? Right, because she has that big spot there too, you know. Yeah, no, we would have to. I mean, that could be done. We'd have to.
Nice shot.
And we'd have to. Right. We'd have to make sure we coordinate right so we get everything we need to do there. Yeah, I'm sure she would because we're bringing people there too. You know, it's just will they come? You know, if they like that, come get a plate. Come check out Ronald's Chicken.
Ronald's Chicken.
You know, Ronald's Chicken. Come check out Ronald's Chicken in the special.
Well, Black folks got jokes.
So you know, because that's what it's about. You know, that's where the conversation started. You know. We started talking about Ronald's Chicken. He got that shit. He finally perfected it.
You be on them steaks, oh God, you know? Yes. Yeah, come get a plate, man.
Come get a plate, you know.
I'm going to be a carnivore that day.
You know, come get a plate. We'll have some, I don't know, some mashed potatoes. Some type of, some type of vegetable or something, you know.
Yeah, hook them up.
You know,
of course, they want to spend money.
Down.
Next to that steak.
You know, for some steak and lobster and shit. So they're gonna pay for all that. You know, we dealing with chicken and mashed potatoes.
Not lose money.
We dealing
lobster and mashed potatoes.
We're dealing with chicken and mashed potatoes, not steak and lobster and shit. You know.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, so so be just like I say, go to the website. That's where you'll find out what we're doing.
You wanna hang out with us?
Watch our show and
Yeah.
listen to what we're doing. So yeah, so make sure y'all check us out. Just go to the website. That's where you'll know everything we're doing.
Tonight,
Tonight,
we're talking about something that I find important, and hopefully you all will as well. We're going to talk about Hitler.
was it A Portrait in Tyranny?
A Portrait in Tyranny. Hitler. And the question was, how
We were
did it
supposed
happen?
to talk about it last Wednesday, right?
Yeah, but we was having a good time.
We never.
Yeah, we was having a good time.
Yeah, so
Conversation went where it went.
but that got a lot of likes because that means people came to watch what we were going to talk about. So that's why we're doing it today for you. We
Absolutely.
brought it back.
Absolutely. So the question is, they selling here at the fish and meat market pretty good also. That's what's up. That's what's up.
See, I feel like I'm a frying fish right now.
You make it?
Yeah, I'm
Some
good.
water, man.
No, I'm good. I got my drink. Grab my drink that's behind you. Right there, right there on the table.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot to bring it over. Bobby over there rushing us and shit. I need to sit down.
And first and foremost, we do have a special studio guest. We have LaDonna with us. She don't want to be on camera, but that's who posed the question. Thank you so much for coming, LaDonna. Appreciate you. Yeah.
Because you're part of the
Part of the family, man.
You're gonna get into the
This
conversation.
mafia stuff. You're in for life.
With-
You know what I mean?
right.
Tiffany, the Nessas, the White, all y'all.
So there he is.
Life.
Yeah, he got a parasite coming out his nose.
Oh, I know, right? The importance of the conversation, in my opinion, is it's not that I'm just bored and we're studying history and we're trying to tell you what you can go read in any book, what happened in history. The reason I find it's important is because we see its application and we've been watching its application easily for about the last maybe 8 years. And it occurred before then as well, here and there, but we haven't seen it to this level since the last 8 years. And that's why we're going to talk about Hitler, because I want you all to understand what's going on around you, and most of us don't know what's going on around us. Let me ask y'all a question. Or no, first and foremost, before I ask this question, first and foremost.
What the two niggas doing in front of all these Germans?
Because we're talking about someone that has a tendency through their life and their beliefs and what they did to make you emotional, whether it's for or against what he committed and his nation committed. I would ask that you please refrain from allowing emotions to dictate the direction of the conversation. Because if you get caught up in that, I promise you, when we get to the point of why we're having this conversation, you'll see exactly why I'm saying this individual is so important and why we continually get misled from the issue. Mm-hmm. That's what the show is about. But please, if you can, emotions are good. That's what gives you drive. That's what gives you energy to do a lot of things in life. That's what gives you conviction about certain things that you have in life. You have an emotional reaction. Even though the decision was done rationally, you had an emotional connection to it. So that's the point. That's
Can you like
go ahead.
people that's families live through this shit? Can they detach those emotions?
So, absolutely not.
You can't, right?
And the reason they can't is because they're so caught up in the hurt and the pain.
Mm-hmm.
But you, your own self, remember seeing a video of a white Jew, non-Zionist on YouTube going at other Jews in Israel, in Jerusalem, saying, I lost parents in the Holocaust. And what you all are doing to Palestine is the same exact thing of what happened to all of our parents. And just because you're Jewish does not absolve you if you commit the same sin. That is why I'm saying most of us cannot detach ourselves from that emotion, because That's why he's going viral, because he's only one of a small voices.
But he's only telling the truth.
In Israel, right. Yes, Los, he's telling the truth. But look at what happens when emotion clouds your thinking and your conversation. If it didn't, there would be no need for him to be in front of a panel of Zionists in Israel telling them what you're doing is wrong. Because if they didn't have that emotional connection to dictate how they're thinking about how they're handling Palestine, there would be no argument regarding how Palestine is being handled. Because they would treat them the way that they don't want to be treated anymore.
So then the Zionists don't have those emotions against them.
Zionists have the emotion against them because that's what's making them Zionist. That's what's giving them the impetus to do what they're doing to Palestinians because of their emotional connection to what happened to them historically. It's blinding them from seeing what's happening out there. Is there anything confusing about this? No doubt, there are exceptions.
I've done research about Hitler, and I come from, my people are the Ashkenazi.
Ashkenazi.
Yeah, Ashkenazi Jews. That is my lineage from Kentucky.
Oh, so you're on the side of Israel then?
My maiden name, my birth name, my daddy's name is Keller, so I grew up with Donna Keller. And I got teased all the time, Helen Keller, blah, blah, blah. But I just recently found out that my family is from the
Ashkenazi.
Right. So, my research of Hitler prior to me learning my lineage was that the U.S. showed him how to do all of this, one.
Of course.
And that two, a lot of the people that were killed were clones. They were cloning back then. Not saying that people didn't have relatives that were part of that, because we still have clones being born today. They have relatives that are living today. I'm not saying it hurts greater or lesser. However, a lot of the things that, based on my research, that Hitler enacted on the people was borrowed from the U.S.
Absolutely.
They showed him how to...
Eugenics is what you're talking about.
Yeah, you're right.
So, nope, not confusing. Okay. So, from the outset, I want y'all to know something about me. I was 10 years old. There were 3 people I found very interesting. At 10 years old. Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, Hitler.
At 10, wow.
At 10. Because I had an education at that time that my mother felt that I should be able to go beyond the average education that public school offers. That's what happened. Absolutely. That's what happened. And not only did she believe it, but she put her son in a situation where you're going to receive a different education. That's how much she valued education. So that's why I found them interesting. I have studied so much about Hitler that not to say I don't stand to learn more, but that is to say I sincerely, even at a young age, found him so interesting that I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I don't think what he did was a good thing, by the way, just in case y'all are here and y'all want to know where we stand. I'm telling you all right now.
That part of what he did was no good.
We don't get, okay, now here we go. So see how you're saying, hey man, that part, that wasn't cool?
No, that wasn't cool at all.
What people are having a problem with, that emotional reaction you had to what he committed, your mom and your daddy, their parents and their parents succumbed to this man. They were put in the airplanes. That's how they tested cabin pressure. They would put Jews in the airplanes and take them to high altitudes to see how the barometric pressure would affect them. They was in so much pain, they took their fingernails and would like literally scrape all the way down the metal walling. They found their fingernails dug into the metal.
That's how much the pressure.
That's how much pressure and that's how much pain they were in. Most of modern science is because of this man.
Right, right.
Most of modern medicine is because of this man.
Right, right.
But you can't have this conversation that we're trying to have tonight if we're still emotionally attached to what he did,
right,
without understanding why he did it.
Right, right.
Why did he do it?
Right.
That's the converse. Well, it's not my opinion.
No, based on your research, what's your level of understanding of why he did what he did?
I've read Mein Kampf. And if anyone has read anything by Mein Kampf, he plays into one mode of persuasion that most of us are always under the influence of and not realizing it, which is the end point of what I want to talk about today.
All right.
Remember, I kept saying, hey, man, we got to talk about some things because I want you all to understand what's going on around you. So,
You said meth is because of that mess.
so if...
But Danny is...
Then I'm saying, so... What they were big time drug users.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Heroin.
But because everyone is not, I can't assume that everyone in the room knows what we're talking about. That's the biggest way to lose your listener. So we have to approach this as we talk about it, y'all, from a standpoint that, what if this person knew nothing about Hitler? What if this person really didn't know much about what happened? I mean, don't think that too far out of,
Right. I mean,
out of the imagination.
in a way you could think like, man, nowadays, everybody should know about this man.
Hey, man, you would
make sure that we know about this man. But
You would
there
think.
could still be people out there that they pay no attention to that shit.
You would
don't
think.
even think about it.
You would think, but then you have somebody, and I'm finna get another emotional reaction. You have somebody like Kanye West that stands up and says, hey, man, the slaves they brought on themselves, they did it to themselves. They wanted to be in slavery.
You know that post.
You weren't hearing what he was really saying.
Right,
We were emotionally responding to what was said.
right.
Okay. Sure, go ahead.
The fact that you brought up Kanye, it really brings another angle to it. Like, why does Hitler get so much press, so much attention and energy for what he did? All of what he did, not just the massacre, because he was accepted by the people initially. He was welcomed by the people.
Right.
They loved his leadership and valued it. It didn't turn out to be so gruesome in the beginning.
Why? Why did they love his leadership?
He spoke to their issues. They had a commonality.
What issues did they have?
How they were being treated.
By who?
You're taking me off point, brother.
I promise you I'm not.
They were poor as
I
fuck.
promise you I'm not.
We fixed that.
I'm right on it.
We fixed it.
I'm right on it.
More slaves were killed against their will.
Agreed.
More Africans, Native blacks, not just blacks from other continents. However, the indigenous blacks in this country,
Sure.
all over the globe, were more numbers have been massacred,
No problem.
genocide, eugenics, all of those things that he enacted were done on African or black or however you want to call yourself first. So it's not that one, I feel like it's a bad rap for people to get an anti-Semite label or that sect of society is untouchable, when I really don't have an opinion for or against. However, it's unfair to other people to have to be tight-lipped about a political situation.
No, that is true. That is true.
But when you have all the power, and the people that was done to are the ones who run the media, and this is this is them. They don't never want you to forget that this happened, so it don't happen again. But what happened to 90 million people of my people that they killed, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about all them slaves that were thrown off them boats and died. They don't want to talk about that.
Too.
But that's the world we live in. If we had the power, guess what? We could shut them up and we're going to talk about this all the time.
Well,
because we had the power.
I feel like that it's unfortunate that Black people as a whole, most of them are Christians. Instead of knowing what their true origin is before colonization. And in the Bible, I just read it today. In Exodus, it talks about you can whip your slave, and as long as you don't kill him, you don't have any penalties. And if you can sell the man, but you can get the woman pregnant, and the woman and the child got to stay on the plane. Just nonsense. Nonsense. And it's still, people go to church and read that Bible just like that ain't even in there.
But it's in there. Let's get back to Hitler.
Okay, back to Hitler. So, my bad, brother.
Which is making my point.
That's the emotional part.
Which is making my point. That's why I shut up.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what you were talking about.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Because we're like, you know what? Why I got to worry about y'all all the time?
Now,
what about my people? My people got killed too.
I'm going to say something. And everybody in the room, I'm going to say something where if I speak to exactly what you're saying, I need you to walk with me. Because I'm trying to take you somewhere that you fight me on. But if I say something that speaks to you and you feel this to be true, I really need you to walk with me. Did you all notice, if you know this, did you notice that if slavery, as if it wasn't bad enough, it was not until you started learning how it happened that so many Africans were enslaved for so long. And what really got us, if that wasn't bad enough, most of us have read something called the Willie Lynch letter. If you read the Willie Lynch letter, what you learned was he took you into the psychology of how he brainwashed slaves in 1700. Right? We have a psychologist on staff that is making slavery happen 200 years before Sigmund Freud found psychology. And when Black people today read the Willie Lynch letter about then, we got even more militant because we understood how we were psychologically damaged. Right. But you cannot understand that if you're still emotional behind what happened. Yeah, right. You cannot learn what happened because you're still emotionally reacting to the damage and the trauma of what happened. Right. And that's normal. But it's not going to get you nowhere. Right. But that's normal. Okay. That's what I'm trying to do with him. That's exactly what I'm trying to have this conversation with about Hitler. Because the problem is, too many of us see the number that he killed. Too many of us see the racist Nazi ideology that so many bought into. A whole nation, if we're going to be exact. He was from Austria. He's Chancellor and now dictator of Germany. Let's talk. See, unless we understand what happened, then you can understand how you're being manipulated every single day.
And that's what only people know about him, because that's all they tell you.
That's the playbook.
They keep you to where we want you to think of this dude. As soon as you hear his name, you think, man, this motherfucker wants shit.
To the point. LaDonna backed me up on this one. To the point. There was a dude named King Leopold or something like that from France.
He killed a whole lot of people.
He killed twice plus some as number of people that died in the entire Holocaust.
Right. But we don't.
And he did this in the early 1900s.
Right. Well,
this man had plenty of examples.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That did a far better job.
Right.
We're talking France.
Right.
That's why a lot of black people in Africa speak French.
I know, pretty much the whole top section. You know, the whole top section, the whole continent speaks French.
We only got about 25 minutes. So let's try to cut through this as fast as possible. And by all means, I'm enjoying the conversation. And please chime in where you can. How did it happen? It starts before Hitler's in power.
This started like in World War One when he was a.
This started in World War One. That's what happened. If you go to school and you take a class on history, despite what your age is, when it is time for you to learn about this, this is going to be supplemental to what happened in 1914 through 1918.
Right.
1939 actually to 1944.
They start us at 1939.
They start us at 1939 and 44.
That's when he came into power. But
that's what they
about
started.
How the fuck did he get
exactly? Exactly. You got to understand what happened. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, how did he get that?
Absolutely.
To imagine standing in front of that many people, knowing that they're listening to everything you say.
Yes, sir.
How the hell did he get there?
Yes, sir. Yes, he was, by the very people that he massacred.
That's right.
But that's not how it happened. That's what happened. The reason I'm relishing in this moment so much because I'm showing you how white people keep you off balance.
That's what it is. I mean, that's what.
It's not that you're wrong.
Right.
They just keep you off balance. And that's their brilliance. In 1914, 1918, we had World War I. World War I, for the number of individuals that lost their lives, even to this very day, more soldiers over a 3-day span, more soldiers died in about 8 hours of fighting. Over those 3 days, than the entire cost of human lives throughout the entire war.
That's crazy.
1914, 1918. 1914 is when they introduced something called mustard gas.
Yep.
And I was in the military. They make you go into the gas chamber, and you have to inhale it, and that's the good shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're gonna survive this. And man, when I tell you, tears are coming out your eyes, your lungs are on fire, your skin, it feel like it's being burned, and the only way you're going to get out this room is by the shoulder that you're touching in front of you in this dark room after you pulled your mask off, and you're going through all of that. Mustard gas. It was so deadly that they signed the Geneva Accord where, to this very day, I might add, except for when Saddam Hussein did it, no one has used mustard gas in warfare to this very day. Because the way that they died from it was so inhumane. It was so vicious that the world as a whole, for mustard gas, agreed to not now how we see nuclear weapons. Let's not have to use this. Let's not do this. If you use mustard gas in wartime, you violated the Geneva Convention, and we're going to all, whether you're NATO or not, we're going to all come get you. Right?
That's crazy, too. That shows you how bad that shit is.
That's how bad it is.
Because
it was.
You would think if I'm a dictator or a leader or something, man, fuck you. I'm going to use whatever the fuck I want.
Thank you.
I'm going to use whatever I want. So it was that bad that me, myself, had to say, you know what, y'all right. Let's not do that shit.
It's true. Absolutely. Absolutely, Danny. Like, absolutely. All right, go try it. You can't even be in a room full of burnt popcorn without it happening. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, man, like, that's how bad it was, and show you how bad mustard gas still is. Even when Saddam Hussein was losing the war, even when Gaddafi was losing the war, they never resorted to mustard gas.
They could have, too.
And they could have.
They said, fuck it.
They never resorted to it.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is, and we're all in agreement, like, that's bad.
I know, right?
Hitler's in this bunk, man, with one of his homeboys. It's like during the war. A bomb hits him. And that's when they used to have trench warfare. They'd be underground.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that gave Hitler confidence as he went throughout the rest of his life, which basically was a failed career except his politics, was Hitler walked out of the bunk to go do something. And in the short amount of time that he walked out of that bunk to go do something, when he came back, about 15, 20 feet in front of him, an artillery shell hit where he was, killed his fellow soldier,
had he been there,
comrade, but it would have been him had he been there. So that was one of the things that kind of reinforced and gave him confidence as he was going forward in life. Exactly. So now you're starting to have this kind of complex,
right.
Which is understandable.
Right. Like, man, that
you know what I'm saying? Like, man,
shit.
How many times you said, "Oh, you must be here for a reason"?
Right. It's not my time to die yet. Goddamn. Shit.
And look how serious you really mean when you say when you see something happen and you this person could have lost their life and this person didn't, and you're like, hey man, and they tell you what happened. Like, man, you must be here for a reason.
Right.
God must have kept you here for a reason.
Right.
God was looking out for you or whatever. Hey man, you know what I'm saying? Now internalize it. Exactly, internalize it. I'm in the military. Bomb just went off in the trench where I was standing. I didn't die.
To walk out that bitch right before it blew.
I didn't die.
Like, man, something pushed me out this fucking bunk.
See how we're getting into his psychological makeup now?
Right.
Who knew that before?
Right.
Exactly.
What's up, Dave?
What's up, Dad? What's happening? You know what I'm saying? This is stuff they won't teach you to help you understand what you're looking at.
Right.
All right, let's keep it moving. 18 minutes. All right. Hitler, after World War I, is in Germany trying to make a life for itself. World War I ended when they signed something called the Treaty of Versailles. Basically, what happened was they said, look, and I am really, really making a long story short. Hey, Germany, it's y'all cause of World War I. Every country that lost soldiers, every country that lost X amount of dollars from commerce, every country that was invaded by you, Germany, every country, et cetera, you all are going to pay back. All of us,
Right.
including America and our war costs. Because we had to go send people over there to come and fight you and take you out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's not our fault. In the court of law, they'd be like, hey, you have to assume the liability.
Right.
Well, they made them assume the liability.
Right.
The liability was so great that Germany went into one of the deepest episodes of depression known to Western capitalism.
Right.
Easily in the last 200 years, 250 years, easily.
Their money wasn't worth a damn.
They had barrels of it.
I saw pictures of a little kid sitting on a big mountain of their money, just sitting there in the middle of the street like it wasn't shit.
Nothing.
I'm like, man, it's like that.
Nothing.
Crazy. Like, our money ain't worth a damn.
He sees this happening. Hitler's a failed artist. Hitler now loves Germany. He went to war for Germany, so we cannot doubt his intentions.
Right.
Went to war for Germany, came back with his life, tried to be a painter. That didn't work. And Hitler saw exactly the burden, the financial burden that was placed upon Germany. Germany, who once had a standing military of, let's just say a number, of 3 million people, now they're down to 200,000 because NATO, early United Nations, or the League of Nations then, was like saying, hey, look, you can't have a large army no more.
Right. And you like to start trouble.
You like to start trouble. Same thing we did to Japan after World War II.
Right. No
Same exact thing.
army. Right.
No standing army.
Right.
Okay. Hitler sees this. Hitler's mom is dead. Hitler's dad, I think by this time, is gone. Hitler's a sibling of a couple of brothers and sisters. And he sees how, like, they've gone from being a juggernaut of a nation to now a superpower of that time to now.
Fourth nation is.
I know this is mean, but I'm gonna say it. Like it's worse than Mexico right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not used to that.
They weren't.
We're just not used to that.
Right.
Hitler saw this as a grave injustice.
Anybody would. That's from you're from that country.
Who wouldn't?
He saw come on.
So the opportunity that he found was, I am dissatisfied with how this country is being run, especially to succumb and surrender to the League of Nations that is putting these heavy fines and hard life on us. If you care about your country, if you care about your city, you know, people getting tattoos of their city on them. You know, they love their city. They be having their city on their cars. They got cities on their Facebook pages. They love their city. This is patriotism.
Right.
These people, like, you go to a Houston Rockets game, you're looking at the biggest patriots on the planet.
Right.
All right.
To the Rockets.
Expand that same conviction towards your country. And all of us have one thing in common. All of us are poor.
Right.
All of us are hungry.
Right.
Don't matter what. It don't even matter why we got into World War One.
Right.
We're having to deal with this.
Now,
so what we're gonna do now?
Right.
And leadership looks like they keep giving in to the Western powers, living these fines on us, this standard of living on us.
Right.
So what does Hitler do? First thing Hitler did, you got to give it to him. He went out on the streets by himself. Modern day evangelist.
Just start
Hitler
to him.
was like, I'm going outside and I'm going to go talk to some people about what I'm firmly convicted in. And my conviction is we're better than this.
Right.
To substantiate my word, I served in the military. To show you where I belong, I almost died and gave my life in the military.
Right.
But the enemy blew up my homeboy and I was spared.
Right.
Now here I'm coming back to talk to my country. We're better than this. You're going to listen to me. You're going to listen to me.
And you figured that you'd have to, because when it comes to like intelligence and shit, you know, the smart ass motherfuckers that built all the shit that they built. That, and I'm talking loud enough, is that's kept now. I can't get that loud now. No, but anyways, yeah, you know, like they had a lot of, you know, these motherfuckers built shit that we didn't even have. They had jets before we even had that shit. They had so much intelligence, and he knew that, yo, we are better than this. We're not just some regular poor ass motherfuckers.
He raised the standard. He saw the potential.
Yeah.
He raised the standard.
Based on African knowledge.
I got no problem with none of that.
Our stuff.
No problem. I have no problem with none of that. I really don't.
I'm saying.
Again, LaDonna. No, I hear you. But
I'm not getting involved.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
We understand.
That's what we're trying to say. We agree. Like you have no argument there. What we're trying to find out is, how did it happen? If we keep becoming emotional to what happened, you're going to miss the how. And the how, I just told y'all.
We're not understanding how he got to his people. Like, look, we're better than this.
Like if
we need to stop.
He became one with them and won them over.
Right.
And they actually surrendered their will, you know, willingly to this man.
But
Okay.
the shit he's talking about sounds better than what I'm
But
doing
this
right the
hasn't
fuck
happened
now.
yet.
You know,
See,
but what he's talking about could happen. I'm with you, man.
You
I
know
don't
what
want
I'm
to
saying?
do this no
this
more.
is before,
Right.
like understand, this is, they say hindsight is 20/20. This is before anything that we're substantiating Hitler's legitimacy on hasn't even happened.
Right.
We're talking about how we got there.
Right. We just talking about how.
And how we got there, I promise you, it's I'm putting it right there in front of you. Because I just said, he went out there by himself.
We're not to start talking about what he.
He didn't go from being talking by himself to controlling jet planes,
Right. No.
killing 6 million Jews. He didn't make that leap. It was a process.
Right.
The process that I'm trying to show y'all is what is being put on us today.
Yes.
But we don't
Yes.
see it because we're too emotional about what is happening
Distracted by what's happening.
by what's happening.
Not being, because everybody's not emotional.
Agreed.
Like, I'm not emotional on politics.
And I'm not making any allegations. Okay, thank you. Okay.
I'm just, that's just a commentator. As a
Okay.
citizen, I'm not emotional either way. Democrat, Republican, you know, what goes on in this country. I live here. I'm proud to live here. Regardless of what happens, I have to live by whatever law, whatever happens in this country. It affects me.
True.
Right.
But do I really have the power to
We can have
change that?
we can have
Now,
that.
that's the beauty of it, of that here. We do have the power.
We
to
can
change
have that
if we get
conversation.
together in the right people.
We can have
Other
that
places have no
conversation.
choice. They're like, no, this is the law.
We can have
Can we
that
vote against that?
conversation.
No, you can't do shit.
We can
You know?
have that conversation
You know?
if we can learn how to do it. That's the point I'm making.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
because we
You gotta
right
learn
now
how
have
to
an
do it.
underdog.
We've had plenty of
people
groups.
that's supporting him. And I see the dangers in that already. I do. I see the dangers in putting all your eggs in that Trump basket. I liked him the first time, but he did some questionable things.
Let me say this here.
That man got arrested.
Now,
Did I just, what did I do? Bob?
No, I'm just
now
listening.
you got
I'm
the
just
Black
listening.
Wall Street. That they told them how to work with each other. They little motherfuckers. And they little people. You know what I'm saying? The Black Wall Street. It is Oklahoma. They charged us with ourselves.
Right?
They
That's
come
what
in, they
do.
had us vulnerable. They
Right.
came and just pull us over something.
That's
Nobody
not,
talk about that one.
that's not what he did, though. He made these people believe that, yes, we are better than this, and we can overcome this.
He made them believe it.
Well, he
Well,
not so much made them, but he played into them, and they started listening.
he
They
got
liked
into
what he
their minds.
they liked what he was doing, you know.
Their
And I can
egos,
understand,
he
like,
played
shit,
to
you're
that.
talking to me
All right.
about what could happen, and for some reason, you know what, I'm so poor and we're so fucked up that I'm willing to listen to what you got to say, man. Let's do this, fuck it. You know?
Okay, y'all. So here's what it is. Here's what it is. We're gonna have to continue the second part of this conversation because we have nowhere near enough time left.
Nope,
8 minutes
good,
left.
good.
No, my brother, we only have 8 minutes left. We only have 8 minutes left. I don't want to go any further regarding how it happened. We don't have enough time. To hopefully persuade you to tune in on Monday when we continue this conversation. I'm finna throw some more triggers out there. I am. I'm gonna throw some more triggers. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna throw some more triggers out there. I'm gonna throw some more triggers out there. I just
I'm gonna talk about a lot of smart. That's what I mean. A lot of my shit.
I'm gonna throw some more triggers out there by appealing to your reason, and you'll know I'm not lying. And you're not gonna like it initially,
Right?
you ain't gonna like how it sounds. But when you process it, you know I'm not lying. Hitler started out by himself on the streets, convinced the people to join him, right?
Selling bean pie.
Look at what he accomplished, right?
Whatever
Would
it
you
was
say-
he did it for it.
Would you say that he influenced a lot of people? It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
It's a,
Yes.
wait, no, brother, stick to the subject, my brother.
Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you, thank you. Please stick to the subject, because that's why we're not on the subject anymore. He influenced a lot of people. Would you say he cemented his mark in history? Absolutely.
Right.
You know, it's last time I saw something to this degree? There was a dude by the Sea of Galilee, all by himself.
Right.
Whether you agree or disagree, if he really was alive, whether he was this, whether he was that, whether he was black, whether he was white, whether he was whatever. Let's just talk about what is written. There was a dude by the Sea of Galilee. 2,023 years later, we're still fighting behind him.
Right.
I am not asking you to believe in him. I am not asking you to say whether he's right or wrong. I'm asking you to do the same exact thing I have been begging everyone to do for the last 30 minutes. How did he do it? And they both started out one person.
Right.
But the emotionally triggered, well, he's the this and he's the that. Or well, they lied to us about this or that. Or well, this ain't really what happened, this or that. You're missing the point.
Right. We're just trying to find out.
You're missing the point.
What was it that he did to get to be able to influence
How
that
did
many
you
fucking
do this? There is a connection in your behavior and your perception and how you understand that has been damn near mastered. But if you want to stay triggered, that's your right. The last person that tried to get us to stop responding to triggers was Martin Luther King. But they killed him. And we went right back to where we were before, if not worse.
Even worse, right?
Because we didn't understand how not to stay triggered and stay on task.
Right, right, right.
He was talking more about non-violence, not being triggered. Like, people walking down the street getting hit upside the head. Like, no. Because if you're not triggered, then you're not engaging with them. You're not asking for integration. You want segregation because you want to not pay attention to them and not be triggered. But no,
Yeah, but
it was non-violence.
Yeah, and had you went violent, there'd be a lot less black people here today.
The wolf's den, the lion's den, not the wolf's den, the lion's den, and you didn't want you to defend yourself.
That was a King idea.
You can get beat, jail, just more drama.
But was it a King idea? Was it a King idea? What he was promoting? Was that a King idea? Was that a uniquely Martin Luther King idea?
No, that was given to him by the Jews. Okay.
No.
Okay. Rosa Parks was married to one.
No.
Okay.
That his strategy came from Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi
He was always nonviolent.
was nonviolent. Even matter of fact, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi practiced non-violence before the establishment of the State of Israel in 1944.
Right.
Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was hold on, brother. He was practicing this in 1914-15 because they were being occupied and being treated, if not damn near worse than the black people in America, by white Britishmen in their own homeland of India.
Right.
And he said,
split it all up and everything.
Don't swing back.
Don't fight.
Don't swing back.
You know?
He picks up on this strategy. So this is not a strategy by Zionist Jews, because even before there was a Jerusalem, you had Palestine, and they weren't the problem.
Right.
They weren't even the objective.
Right.
Matter of fact, around the time that they were getting killed in their own home country of India by the British, Palestine was living at peace with Jews and Muslims and Christians in Jerusalem under Palestinian rule.
Right.
Not true.
Right.
Okay? If you,
It's not true, bro.
brother, okay, so now your child, your brother,
Before 1944.
brother, the time period that we're talking about, my brother, we're talking about the early 1900s. Now, unless you're telling me,
There was no.
this is very important, unless you're telling me that every single thing that these individuals that are sitting next to me finish no, brother, stay on topic. That's how. Let me finish, brother. This is the reason I'm talking to you, is because you're showing me exactly why we as a people keep missing the mark. We have to listen to each other and be educated. When you start talking about something that you're not educated about, you give them more confidence in what they're already doing to us. Please educate yourself. Please, that's very important. And none of us, by the way, are above education. Please. That's all I got to say.
But you're right, though. There was no Israel there.
There was no Jerusalem.
Right.
There was no
So it
Jerusalem.
wasn't them that was the problem. My whole thing
There was
about
no
this
Israel.
is what's so crazy about this, you cannot get away from Jews or Israel when you talk about this man. You know what? That's so ingrained in us, man, that if he comes up,
Please
they
stay
come
tuned.
up.
Please
You know what I'm
stay
saying? So yeah, so make sure
Yeah,
y'all
that's all we
tune
got.
in Mondays as we're gonna continue this conversation, part 2.
Yeah,
My
man.
brother Los.
I'm Brother Ron. And thank our guests, man. Thank y'all
Our
so much for coming. Thank y'all. Thank y'all, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
And LD is here in the house.
Yeah,
Again,
man.
don't
She about to
make
do
sure
her
y'all
thing.
tune in
Thank you for coming,
tomorrow
love. Thank you.
for
Thank you.
the second episode of Her Handy. Is gonna be a recording, so make
Yeah,
sure y'all tune in
tomorrow,
tomorrow for
yeah.
that 7 o'clock.
And thank you, Dwight. Thank you, man. Love you, man. You and your lady, man. Thank y'all so much, man.
Thank
You watching the show. Yeah, man. We got it.
Lady D.
Yeah, Lady D. Yeah, yeah.
Much love
Tip
for all
all
you
y'all,
guys.
man.
Make sure y'all tune in. Again, we're the Daily Smoke, and we're out.
Peace.